right. Yeah. Welcome to another Circle with your host, the fifth general, Zacchaeus and Cinema Scapes. What's up, y'all?
Yo, what's
It was
up?
good, man.
So we have a lot to talk about today. We're gonna get into something very important. Sadly, over the weekend, we have witnessed a tragedy of a legendary DJ. I would like to call him, and some others would definitely like to call him. His contributions to the rap game is very important, and he will be missed by so many people. His connections to bringing on whether it's new artists or current artists and pioneers that already been in the game, that he just, I've seen careers stay afloat because of him. I've seen guys get their second chances, third chances, fourth chances because of this DJ, because he knew where the talent was. And his whole
Right.
thing is, I don't care about the industry. I don't care about major labels. I think you dope, so I'm gonna put you on my mixtape or my compilation. You know,
Right.
and we're talking about DJ K Slay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
according to
Yes.
hiphopdx.com,
Mm.
um, 55 years old, died on Easter Sunday
Mm.
after 4 months of being hospitalized with COVID-19. Oh, well, sorry, that algorithm. C-19 complications. Okay. Um, you know, let's see. Let me read just part of this. So one of the sad things is this, right? He was sick since December, right? And at one point in January, there was an article saying that he had opened his eyes.
Mm.
So I'm thinking that's recovery. But then I noticed shortly after that, it was still keep K-Slay in your prayers. It kind of
Mm.
reminded me of Bismarck E. When
Mm.
Bismarck E was sick, he was coming to, and then they said, okay, well, he still has to stay in the hospital. So
Mhm.
you don't want to think the same thing is going to happen to the next person because of what you heard from another person. You would hate to think that. But the unfortunate thing is
Yes.
that it's kind of what you hear, sadly. When you hear somebody's getting, it's just an unfortunate thing, you know? So,
Yes.
um, you know, so yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, man.
I don't see anything about K Slay having a family. I don't see that. Does anybody know if he had kids or anything or wife?
I never knew him to have kids. Or he probably kept that part. Or if he did have a family, he probably kept it, quiet out of the media.
Yeah,
But I know K say for a long time, and I never really see kids around them, or even with pictures. There's always this K and some other an artist,
yeah.
and yeah, man.
So I'm gonna read something that a close friend of K Slayer said. You know, um, hip hop has lost a real gem. Silk tells DX. His name is Van Silk. Says my brother is gone. I've known him since he was 16 years old. He was my little brother. I introduced him to many, and we did a lot of things together. We last talked in December because we were finishing up the 200 Rolling Deep project. He was going to do his video part with MC Sharrock. Um, from mixtapes to helping him launch Straight Stunting magazine, the whole what the science project, the world not only lost a real dedicated person to the culture of hip hop, but a source of bridging the gap in hip hop. I'm gonna miss my little brother. Um, yeah. So let's see. He also worked for Hot 97.
Mhm.
Back
Yeah.
in New York. For those who are not in New York, we have to explain that because this is not a New York podcast. So, but
Mhm.
yes, he worked for Hot 97. He had a program on I think Thursday nights, the Drama Hour, and I know when I was back home.
Islamic King. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I know when I was back home and he had his days on Hot 97. I used to listen to that program
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
religiously
Crazy
because
mixes.
Yes.
Yes.
because truth be told, he had the best show on Hot 97. The,
He did.
I,
He
I, I don't
did.
I don't care what anybody
Facts.
else says.
Facts. Yeah, man.
If you wanted to hear old Hot 97, that's basically who you listen to, and y'all know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes.
Mhm.
Oh yes.
That how Hot 97 felt in the 90s.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
K Slay's
That
show
was.
brought us that that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, man. I mean, you guys are older than me, but I know y'all remember this. Y'all remember this just like I remember this. Back in the day, radio, old hip hop radio back in the days, specifically Hot 97, was so good that all you had to do was put in a blank tape and just record.
And press record.
That's it.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Yeah, yo, listen. I'm getting
That's all you
excited
had
now.
to
I
do.
mean,
We dub
I'm gonna
tapes.
say
We dub
this.
tapes all the time. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Exactly. I'm gonna just say this. That was what we did back then.
Yes.
I mean, we just record. Like back then I had a lot of cassettes.
Yes.
And me and my brother, we just recorded the radio when it was used to call it was Hot 97, then it was 98.7 before
Yeah.
then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yo, in New York, I'm talking about New York City
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
radio
Mm-hmm.
back then
98.7
in
inches.
the 90s.
Yep.
Mhm.
Man, the cassette tape, it was, yo, those shows are so good,
Yeah.
and you just had to put like I remember some Saturday nights, just put in the recorder, just had to be. I said,
That's
my
all you
brother would
had to
just get the
do.
cassettes, and we had to we recorded it.
Mhm.
And I
It
know
was
some
so good.
and I know some people who haven't experienced that privilege of hip hop radio are probably saying,
No. This
uh,
is
uh,
me going.
they're probably saying to themselves, "Well, how did you know what was
Without
how did you know what was being played? It didn't matter. We knew it was dope. All we had to do we trusted programming back then. Back then, we
Yes.
trusted it so much that all
Facts.
we had to do was just hit. As soon as say our favorite DJ came on, whoever your favorite DJ is on, and I'm gonna do this
Funk
one.
Master, anybody.
You know,
Red
yeah,
Alert.
Funk Master, the Purple Man, DJ Red Alert.
you know what I'm saying? As soon as Red
What's
Alert
up?
came
Yeah,
on, just hit record. That's all you got to do.
that's
And,
it.
and the first record he
That's it.
played was fire.
Because when a DJ came on, you weren't listening to commercial format.
Right,
You wasn't listening to a payola setup.
right.
Mhm.
You wasn't worried about.
And
Hello.
so you had DJs live mixing on air. So the
Yes.
weekends used to be ridiculous. You
Absolutely.
had to have your tapes ready
Yep.
and all your stuff,
Yep.
Oh, coming up next. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. You knew you had to get a couple of tapes because you got to flip it over, get on B side, record
Oh,
that.
yes.
You know
yeah,
what I'm
and,
saying?
yeah, and
Yes.
right, because DJs would break stuff in those
Mhm.
sets that
Yeah.
haven't even been in programming.
Yep.
Just like excuse me,
Yep.
just like how Wu-Tang was broke on underground radio in New York,
Yes.
Right. Right.
but nobody even knew who they were.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Everyone's like, "What's this song? Who's that group?"
Yeah.
And
Right.
for reasons you saw on the Wu-Tang series, they weren't around to claim their stuff because
Yeah.
running.
Yeah. And you know what?
And so for a while, people didn't even know who they were.
Right.
No.
Right.
And so that's how things broke.
Yeah.
And I want to say another thing about K Slay.
Okay.
He revolutionized the mixtape.
Yes, he did. Hello, legend.
Why was mixtapes everywhere across the country at one point?
K Slay. K
He
Slay
and
revolutionized it. Yes.
there's a time where the mixtape was so viable and so necessary to hip hop
Mm-hmm.
before it became bad.
Yeah.
His format, beats, and he put anybody on gospel rappers. He put anybody who he felt
Yeah.
on these tapes,
Yeah.
Mhm.
If
and
yeah. Right. If they all he
it's
cared
like it's
was
so hard to explain if you weren't experiencing it, and it just got to a point. If you, everyone's just paying attention to see who you are. Oh, I'm gonna be on the next Case Slay mixtape. Oh, what?
yeah. Well, see,
Yeah.
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. K Slay also was in an era where there was an oversaturation of mixtapes as well, and he was able to still
Exactly.
and he was able to still headline mixtapes in the market that he was in, regardless of all the other mixtape
Mhm.
DJs there was.
Oh,
So that should tell
right.
you something.
Because
Well,
exactly,
Yeah.
well
it
because
Yeah.
tells you how special the mixtapes are.
exactly, and it tells you his ear for music. And so,
Mhm.
so the
Yeah.
point that I made, because people are trying to figure out why did I talk about '90s hip hop. What I was trying to make a point was the same passion and attitude and confirmation that we had back in the '90s about recording the show
Right.
was the same passion we had with K Slay in a modern era. We trusted
Yep.
him in a modern era.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
To lead the way.
To lead the way, because it's like, yo, we knew, his contributions to Hot 97, Shade 45. It's like, yo,
Mhm.
we knew this is the thing about K Slay. There's a couple DJs I can name, but we're talking about him. K Slay is my kind of DJ because he has my like critique. Like, you know how all of us critique new artists, our favorite artists, because we want them to we know that they're good, so we want them to do better, right?
Mhm.
We want the best from who we consider the best, right? And I feel like that's an attitude K Slay have. K Slay loves hip hop so much that he said, "Yo, I'm not gonna do what these other popular DJs are doing. I'm gonna still be me, and I'm gonna hit him with that raw hip hop." You know what I'm saying? And that's what I admired. That's what I admired about him is that he's like, listen, I'm gonna still hit them with that raw hip hop. It don't matter what era we in. When they listen to my show, they're gonna know that hip hop still lives, and he still kept with the same format. So that's why I liken him to a time. He was able to give us something that was refreshing because we haven't gotten it for a while. And let me tell you something.
Yes.
There are artists that I know today because of him. We know Pat Poose because of him. You know what I'm
Papoose
saying?
because of K Slay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because of K
Yeah.
Slay. We
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
we know and my heart goes out to Pat, man, because they were close. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 55 is young. 55 is young.
Yeah.
That's still young. You still
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
half of your life still left when you're in your 50s. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. See?
Yeah.
See?
Anything else you got to say,
See?
Zacchaeus?
Yeah.
You said you met him, right?
I had the privilege of running in Harlem back in 2005. I had the privilege of I was in the running with an old manager like way back in the day. I would say back in 2004, 2005,
Uh-huh.
and I was in Harlem,
Yeah.
and they was doing like some kind of they had them had was doing some kind of it was like a party kind of party scene Harlem party 122nd 100 it was like 100 it was St. Nicholas in Harlem in New York City. Those who don't know,
Hmm.
and it was like a raunchy hip hop party, and guess who was in the crowd?
Okay, Slay.
K Slay, K Slay, because at the time the CDs they had like mixtape CDs, and K Slay was just standing right there, and I'm like, wait, who's that big dude with the glasses? And they were like, oh, that's K. Yo, what's up, K? And it was
Yeah.
what's up, K? What's up, K? That was mine. And I shook his hand, but we didn't really get a chance to talk like that. That's the first time me meeting him back in 2005. But every time I looked at a mixtape, and every time I seen the mix, especially when it comes to hip hop music, I seen K Slay, and I said that's something to pick up because his mixtape and when he did on the radio made me want to pick up his mixtapes.
Yeah.
It made me want to listen to him and pick up his mixtape because let's face it, man. I mean, if when you talk about phenomenal mixtape DJs,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing you think of is K Slay.
Yeah.
The first thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for us in New York, that's the first thing you think of.
Right.
And every artist want to get to him. Everybody's want to be on the project with K Slay.
Mhm.
That's so powerful. That's a legacy he left in the game. You know,
Right.
he was I tell you, he was like an architect of the mixtape game to me, because when you listen to his mixtapes, it's like this man took his time. He put together and he meshed the music. And all the variety of different hip hop artists on it, and some artists that you don't even know, like, oh, who's this? He made you want to rewind his CDs and listen to it all over
Yeah.
again.
And them compilation albums,
yeah.
Street Sweepers, all the mixtape
Yes.
Street Sweepers
Yeah.
and all that. So,
Mhm.
He's put out, he has a good ear for music, because it's what he puts out. He collabed with Greg Street.
Yes.
They did a compilation
Mhm.
together. And then he
Yeah.
had a couple more after that, the 100 Rolling Deep. I think he did 50 Rolling Deep, then 100 Rolling Deep. He's always had these songs, these big collab songs.
The ciphers.
Yeah,
the
he
cipher,
wrote
right?
big
Mhm.
ciphers too. Like, it'd be like, like for real, like everybody on it. You know what I mean? Like
And
he was
killing
able,
it.
and kept
Killing it.
and killing it.
You
Yeah.
have to kill it.
You're like
Yeah. Woo!
you're making them nasty faces. Like
hey, and make you want to get on those ciphers, right?
Man,
Exactly.
of course.
Like I was
Like,
like,
let me go
I
get my
find
pad. I
Listen.
gotta get to work.
There were
yeah,
times. There were
you find a
times.
side, you like, yo, I gotta get on that. You fantasize on that. You
Son.
fantasize like, man, I want to get on that mixtape.
Son, I got jealous because I wasn't on something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yo, check this out. Another thing K Slay is known for, and I know you know this, cinema. Remember the first debates when Ether first came out. He was the first
Oh, yeah.
DJ. He was the first DJ publicly to tell you that Nas won.
Right.
Right, and remember,
I
remember
remember that.
the populace came for his head.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The
But in
populace.
retrospect, a lot of people had to eat humble pie.
Thank
to eat
you.
humble pie.
They did. Well, because back then, some DJs didn't want to take a side, or the side that they took was Jay-Z, because. So,
Hey, boy.
so,
I remember that.
so,
Yep.
so when K-Slay said, "Yo, Nas won that," I remember K-Slay was
Yeah,
on
that
MTV. I remember when K-Slay was on
Mhm.
MTV talking about that.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
See,
he
it ain't about how many songs you drop. It was about the quality.
thank you.
Yes.
And he ended up being right. He ended up being
Mhm.
right. We don't debate.
Yeah.
We know Ether was a better, harder disc record than Takeover. Takeover's still a good
Please,
record. Don't get me
get
wrong,
your-
but Ether won.
Get yourself a gun. You better get yourself a
Gun.
You know?
Woo! Jeez.
Dope.
And how many people still rap over that? Bum, 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 bum.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly.
Well, remember Remy Ma did her version Sheetha
Yeah.
against Nicki Minaj.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's when you know it's iconic. 'Cause
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna do it again.
Well, see that. Well, see that's the thing.
Mhm.
Ether. Shout outs to K
But yeah,
Slay.
he called that against Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout outs
He
to
called
K
that.
Slay, because I
Yeah, he sure did.
feel
Mhm.
K Slay being the first DJ of his status, right, to say that, also gave people who were in the closet about that song being better, it gave them courage to actually say something. Because some
Mhm.
people didn't want to say anything.
And that's when the real debate came.
That's when the real debate,
Mhm.
because then people would say, "Hey, you know what? K Slay got a point," and then you had some people that was like, because remember Ether took I think we had to wait about a year, almost a year, to hear Nas's response, right?
Mhm.
So
Because he was
dealing with his mother.
people.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, His mother was sick.
dealing with his mother, and then
Yeah.
mother and sick.
Oh.
Then the label, because
Right.
the
Right.
label would drop him like bow, bow, bow.
Right.
Right,
And
right.
Jay owning his own label was just like, okay, tomorrow.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right. He had the luxury.
And you know I'm a G.
Yeah. Jay.
to-
Well, right, because Jay had the luxury. The machine that was behind Jay-Z at the time had the luxury to just hit you with music, as well as Nas was with Columbia Records, so he had to wait. You know what I mean? So, but
Right. He had
I
the situation where he had to get off like Common with Relativity.
exactly. So yeah, so like I said, I think that gave, and also remember, ether has become a metaphor for everything. You know, ever since that time. You know, when people say, "Yo, he got ethered," we know what that means. That's a metaphor. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
A metaphor.
When you drop a track and it becomes slang in the street lingo,
Oh, that means you won.
And-
That means you won.
you won.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
But K Slay,
Yeah, man.
much respect.
Yes.
Much respect.
Oh,
Rest
man,
in peace.
condolences.
Condolences
Yeah,
to his family, his friends,
Condolences to his
all
family.
the,
man.
you know. Right. There's so much. We don't even
Yeah.
have enough time, all the stuff revolutionized and stuff, because a lot of stuff, you know, is experiential with that. You had
Yeah.
to be around that area, you had to be there
Yeah.
Mhm.
to see the influence in that area. Because if somebody said, "Oh, I'm gonna be on K Slade," you was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you
That
got
was a
excited,
You got hype
Yeah.
and excited for them.
and you
Yes.
and you knew it was dope.
Facts.
And you knew it was dope because K Slade didn't accept
Exactly.
anything. And I want to also
Yeah.
I want to also personally want to thank K Slade for this mentality of somewhat of a perfectionist. You know what I'm saying? That
Mhm.
if it ain't right, don't put it out. You know what I'm saying? And he a DJ.
Right.
And he
Yeah.
a DJ. But his critique and his ear for music also helped me. You know what I'm saying? With all the other
Mhm.
things that I've done, musically and non-musically. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that
Right,
mentality,
right.
like you know how cinema we talk about, you know, Kobe gets this reference all the time for a Mamba mentality. How a Mamba mentality is not just basketball. You know what I'm saying? You
Right,
can apply
right,
it to
right,
life.
right.
You know?
Mhm.
So I feel like K Slade had like a Mamba mentality of, you know, himself. You know what I mean? Of that ilk. You know, so my condolences also to those who have you know, had complications of C19. I have to say it that way for
Right.
algorithm purposes.
Yeah, the sense of
But yeah. So yeah, man,
algorithms.
we gonna move on to the next topic, man. So
Mhm.
we had a crazy situation, right? You know, there's a video of a police officer, okay, and this just so happened to happen the same weekend as that Brooklyn subway shooting, but you know, we happen to have a situation where we saw body cam footage, okay, of an arrest that took place. Of 26-year-old Patrick Layoa. Hope I'm saying his name right. Unarmed. He was shot in the head by a Grand Rapids cop, part of a traffic stop.
While
Here's the thing.
cuffed.
Here's the thing. Okay, there's footage of it. It's out. Why are people, specifically on the melanin side, being killed over a traffic stop? Why does that keep? I mean, we know why, but why does it keep happening? It's a traffic stop. Listen, you have situations. So this is what I was told, and I want to thank somebody for educating me. I was told that if a cop actually wants to run your license or whatever, or get your credentials, he doesn't have to actually pull you over yet. He can get it from the license plate. He can get it from the license plate. He'll know exactly the name that it's registered under. He'll know the actual. He'll know the person who it's registered under, the state that is, of course, the state. But he'll also get your address from the license plate number. There have been situations where people have said they've been pulled over by the cops and they called them by their first and last name without even asking for some ID. Okay,
Whole
so
system.
you know
Yeah.
who I am. You shouldn't be stopping me in the first place unless I'm speeding or if I'm violating some type of traffic law. You see what I'm saying? So why is this man getting shot at a traffic stop over a traffic stop? Why? And killed. Why you got to get killed too? I mean, it's one thing to get shot, but we doing death kills. Execution style, man. Execution.
He was murdered. He was murdered. You know,
Cold-blooded murder.
murder. Yeah.
Now, Cinema, I'm gonna let you go first because you had something to say about this off air, and then I'm gonna push it to you, Zacchaeus.
Okay.
Number one, cuffed. Why are we always on the ground? Now, remind me what I was talking about.
He put up a hand gesture, the police officer.
Right. There's a picture of the police officer doing a hand gesture to the back of the head of the person of a gunshot before the person's dead. And the whole thing is, all this is going on. This doesn't get reported. Will Smith, Subway guy.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this why people are out marching during COVID in 2020?
George Floyd.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Reason, stuff like this is why people's out with COVID, with masks, still marching.
They're marching.
Because it's ridiculous that, and I was just having a conversation with somebody today talking about how you got to keep your head on the swivel when you're black and how we thought we were safe at home until the cop walked into the guy's house and killed him. The fact that he was on the ground and that you do a gesture, call that out, and then pull out your revolver instead of taser. Why does he need to be tased if he's not doing nothing on the ground, cuffed? This is ridiculous. I don't even have words anymore. It's like the frustration that I feel every time this happens is ridiculous. And you take a vow to protect and serve, but nobody wants to talk about how our police has been militarized.
Yeah.
Why they have weapons, why they have guns, military, why are they using military techniques on civilians?
Right. Right.
And won't talk about who's training them because I like breathing.
Well,
but you know what I'm saying.
I do.
You can look it up.
I do.
We know, but you go into some ventures, you ain't breathing no more. Because they don't want you to know. And it's on purpose. How come we've had this conversation before on the show?
Mhm.
How come how it used to be people who were from the neighborhood police the neighborhood.
Oh, back in the days,
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
Community police.
And it hasn't been. People come out of the military and get sent somewhere. A lot of times. Or they get pulled to academy and put in a different place. And I remember it was when we were teenagers when they stopped moving people familiar with the communities out of the neighborhoods. Because I had people I know who were police in West Brighton.
Yeah.
And then the partner reported and they were gone and they were assigned somewhere else. Why can't somebody be familiar with their community? Because you're getting this because there's no conscience in killing somebody you don't know.
Right.
Especially if you have a racist mindset.
Well, and he was.
And I'm in this. Yeah.
And the cop screamed out taser. So here we go again
Right.
with that. Here we go again with that. Remember what happened last time? Somebody screamed out taser
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
and pulled out
This
a
ain't
different.
the first time.
Yeah, this ain't the
This
first time.
So I'm just giving you food for thought. And I'm just gonna pass it on. You know what I'm saying? You're screaming out taser and it's a gun. And please, to make that mistake, they're not even on the same side in most places.
Listen. There's a video, and I just remembered this. Something happened actually about a week ago. A police officer was choking another fellow female police officer from intervening in a situation where a guy was harming a guy.
Wow.
And he said, "Don't you dare interfere in my police work." And he grabbed her by the throat.
Wow.
Yeah.
He fired.
Well, he just so happened to be one lieutenant to another lieutenant,
Mm-hmm.
okay, or a lieutenant to a sergeant, okay, whatever the ranks are. He thought that he thought he was justified by choking his fellow officer by the neck. Female officer.
That's a violation.
This man looked like, I wish I had the thing on it, but this guy must have been at least 6'4",
Mm-hmm.
and she had to be at least 5'6",
Right.
with boots on.
Mm-hmm.
Probably shorter than that. Probably shorter than that. But there's video footage of him grabbing her by the throat. Oh, and let me also tell you this about that footage, which I think is very shaky. His face is blurred out, but hers is not.
And she's the victim.
But why is his face blurred out to protect him when he's the aggressor? And she's the victim by being choked, but her identity is not protected. It's out of control. The point I'm trying to make is they out here doing it to each other, so you know they're going to do. Anyway, let's get back to what happened to the young brother. And he's not even from here. He's a Congolese immigrant, but Zacchaeus, like we always say, they ain't worried about what country you're from. If your skin is black, they don't care. You know what I mean? That's just how they are. You know what I'm saying? They ain't asking where you from. They just gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna do the other.
I'm gonna do the Habla Bluima.
Habla de Lima.
Okay? Got the same treatment as Oscar Grant, as Trayvon.
Yes.
No, not Trayvon. Trayvon, George Zimmerman's not a cop. Ezel Ford. Michael Brown. You know what I'm saying? Get the same treatment as
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Traffic stop.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Traffic stop, Sandra Bland. There you go. That's a traffic stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Bell. It's like, you know, it's like why?
My God.
Like
Yes.
why? Like it's like, you know, when is it gonna end, right? And the thing is this. Remember, we did a show. We did Mrs. Z and Fifth. We talked about when Dante Wright got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all did.
When the female cop, whatever her name is, I forgot her name, but you know, remember we did an episode. She was crying crocodile tears in court like Kyle Rittenhouse. You're talking this taser stuff, and you got a heavier gun in your hand. And remember what they always said. They said that they said a taser is not even on the same side of the hip. That's
not
number
on
one.
the same side.
It's not the same weight. It doesn't eject the same way that a gun does.
It looks different.
It looks different. It looks totally different.
It feels different. One is metal and one is plastic.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. And you don't have to cock back a taser the same way you would a pistol.
Right.
You have to arm a pistol before you shoot it. You can't just say, "Here, gimme," and then think it's gonna work.
Don't work like that. Yeah.
There are steps in play. Anyway, Zacchaeus, anything you want to say in it? Because I know I got to get the mic to you. My bad.
That was okay, man. It continues, and it continues the police brutality because everything comes up to cover it up. I mean, like I didn't hear about the case of when the young man getting shot in the back of the head
Yeah, this is recent.
because everything, yeah, recently because everything else is brushed underneath the carpet and it's
Oh,
just hush, hush, hush.
Ukraine and
You
gas
know, not
prices.
too much, yeah, not too much footage because listen, you got so much things going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you got the Ukraine getting the focus.
yeah,
You got you still people still talk about little remnants of Will Smith.
yeah.
People still bringing up well people still bringing the guy that got I call him Mr. Subway shooter.
Oh, we're gonna get to
That
that. We're gonna get to that.
you know you have different topics coming up. You have the homeless information situation too.
Right.
So it's a lot of things that really that police brutality does not. It's not important. I didn't even hear about the female police officer that got choked. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's new
See
too.
that?
They're not talking about that. And the
So
reason, look,
so to me, that's misconduct. You should get fired for that. You put your hands on a female officer, and or any officer for that matter, that you get fired. And then they had they blared his face up. They blared his face up.
hey,
They put a blur in his face so they could cover up.
if you ask me, the woman's a hero because she was de-escalating a situation that could have caused the death of a civilian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know the funny thing is it's chauvinistic too, because you know
Hold
the
on,
funny thing about it.
I got more for you. Remember the police officer in Buffalo, Carriol? Remember Carriol's
Yeah.
law that got passed? Because remember she got fired, she got suspended,
Yes.
fired, and they tried to
Yes.
keep away
I
from her
remember.
pension. And remember they had
Yeah.
she fought for the law. The law is if a police officer intervenes with another police officer in a scuffle to where a citizen could be harmed seriously or killed, that you shouldn't be fired for it. You're still protecting and serving, but you ain't protecting, serving, and killing.
Mm-hmm.
And what does this say about the police force as a whole, where a woman or any other officer, I'm talking about Carriol now,
Chauvinistic.
can be fired because she was doing the right thing?
And yeah,
It's
you know,
because you know why? Because we all know that the police force is a good old boys club, and there's something
hello,
called the blue wall of silence,
silence.
and she violated that.
Yes.
As citizens,
Yes.
we reward her for that, but the police force punishes for that.
Punishes you for that. Yeah.
But I thought they were protecting and serving. That doesn't sound like protecting and serving to me.
Nope. The good old boys in blue. So
Do you know that in the military, that as a soldier, if you shoot somebody, not even kill them, but if you shoot somebody, do you know that you could go to jail? And that's in an act of war. There's more consequences for soldiers in the act of war than there is for police officers against unarmed citizens that look like the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
A soldier said on a program, he said that he has to go through a hearing and he has to explain, why did you kill this? Why did you kill in this situation? He has to explain himself. An act of war. Can you imagine? and you still got to explain yourself. You know why? Because you can't just recklessly kill in the military when you're the United States military. Well, at least you're not supposed to.
Right.
At least you're not supposed to.
Right.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of dirt going in that too. And there probably been many soldiers who were doing things and they didn't have to explain nothing, because I know I heard many stories about the countless raping that happened during the Vietnam War with those women in the village. I heard about all that. There's a lot of babies were being born, and it wasn't consensual.
Whoever, and a bunch of them came looking for their fathers here.
Yes, they did. Anyway, I don't want to go
Wow.
off. I don't want to go off on a tangent. What I'm saying is,
But
what I'm saying is, if you're gonna hold the military in an act of war to a certain standard, then you need to hold the police to it too. That's all. That was the only point that I was making.
one more little note.
Yes.
If you want to know what we're talking about musically, Prince Paul had A Prince Among Thieves.
Yeah.
And there's this song on it called The Men in Blue where Everlast plays the cop. And listen to the words of that song.
Wow.
and we're talking 1999.
1999.
It was Prince Paul made a whole dramatic rap album, produced it, and it has a bunch of people on Sadat X and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the boy gets caught up with the police, and then it's a whole thing to bust a raid. And then he said, "We are a gang and we all blue."
Wow. 1999.
Exactly, because ain't nothing changed about that. They want to act like it did, but it hasn't.
Anything else y'all want to say before we move into our last topic? I mean, I swear this stuff pisses me off, man, because it happens so often. You feel me?
Right.
You lose count. You literally lose count. I remember last year, 2 years ago, I got on. I don't know if it was the Round Circle or Mississippi and Fifth, one of the shows, and I said, "Yo, it's so bad that we could do an episode about every police shooting." There was a point where there was so much police brutality happening that we had to literally take a break from it. We had to stop talking about it, not because it didn't happen anymore.
Because we had
and
everything broke out that year when we started recording. That was season 2.
It was crazy.
That was nuts.
We were trying to have a season of variety, but stuff kept happening.
And
heavy. It was heavy that year. Yeah.
It was like every week, several times in 1 week.
Several times in 1 week. Yeah. Sad. Yeah. Woo.
All right, we're gonna get into our next topic. Last week we talked about because it was fresh that week. The Brooklyn subway shooting. Some fool goes into a train, like with a gas mask, shooting stuff. And anyway, when they showed us the suspect, I said, "Get the heck out of here." I said, "Are y'all serious?" This man, the man that they showed, he looked crazy. I don't mean like crazy, like sadistic, but just crazy looking in the sense that he was the one that did it. So here's the early reports that I remember hearing at the time. And remember, I said live when we was recording, while we was recording, I said, "Hey, I want to talk about the suspect, but I don't know if we should because it's still fresh in the news."
Yeah.
First they were saying, "Oh, the guy is 5'5". This guy that they got is about 6'2", 6'1".
Yeah.
And way out of shape.
Yeah.
How the heck do you get this misconstrued? So which one is it? The man was 5'5" and trim, or 6'2" and fat? I mean, I'm just saying, where are we going with this one? And then they said that he was on
running or was he waddling?
Yo, the man got a yo. Let me tell you something. They showed this man walking and he had a limp.
Exactly. Was he running or was he waddling?
He was doing.
That's what
I'm gonna go with water.
He was doing.
Exactly.
He was doing the bruh man run.
I don't even. Exactly.
Yo,
I was
Zacchaeus, go ahead.
Those who are listening on audio, you just gotta go to the video.
You gotta go to
see
video.
what I did.
Zacchaeus, go ahead.
I was taken back at his age. That's what I was taken back. I said,
Yeah, what was he? 52? He's 62.
Said 62. I was taken back. I think he's 62. I was taken back at his age. And I'm like, I mean, instead of this man studying his retirement, studying to collect your Social Security, studying to just move to Florida or something like that, he's shooting the place up. I said, something wrong with this picture.
They said that he got the
Big
U-Haul, that he ran up the subway somehow.
Like almost like a setup. It don't seem real. It seems like a setup.
So
almost
somehow, and we're not laughing at what happened, but we're just laughing at the audacity and the stupidity that the fact that first they were saying he was fine. There's a lot of things that are fishy here. Number one, why is it that you had all them subway cameras broke at all the same time? They said the cameras was broke.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Listen,
go to any project in New York.
Oh, they're working.
All those are working.
They're all working. Let me tell you something right now. For those who are not from New York City, don't matter what borough, Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, Manhattan, there are cameras everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But so if he would have come out of the subway, a camera would have caught him.
Yeah, and that didn't catch him. This makes zero sense.
That's why it seemed like a whole. It sounded like a little setup to me. I mean, the thing is, it was seem real. All of a sudden, now wait a minute. So he did what he did, and the cameras. All of a sudden, now the cameras don't work.
They said all of them were down.
All broken.
All of them broken. All of them. Make this make sense.
That you see is real, you know.
And then,
go ahead.
Dude's gonna, hello.
Yeah,
it's me.
I'm at the McDonald's.
Come get me.
I'm at the McDonald's. Yeah, yo, I'll be at the McDonald's, yo.
Right. I'm the guy with the quarter pounder thing in front of me.
Come see me, B. I'm at the McDonald's waiting for you.
And McNuggets.
What?
They also said he's a YouTuber.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? They're coming at him because they said that he was on YouTube talking about revolution and guns.
Yeah.
How is there not a camera, a traffic light camera, or something that was able to catch him running to the supposed U-Haul truck and drive off? And let me tell you something, U-Haul trucks are not small. You can't get loose in a U-Haul truck.
Number one,
how's that your getaway vehicle?
Exactly.
First of all U-Haul trucks got a jacked up wheel alignment, so they favor to the right. Okay. First of all, they all got that noise. They don't have proper AC. Okay, it takes forever to roll the windows up. It takes a while to park them. In a busy part of Brooklyn, come on, cinema, come on now. This doesn't make any sense.
I mean, as people, no phone footage, no.
Hey, you know what's so crazy? The only cell phone footage we got is the people walking out who got wounded, but we don't have no footage of the man running. But at first they said that the people on the train platform said that the man was very short and he was slim. He was 55 slim and trim, and he was jumping over turnstiles. That doesn't sound like a 60.
No turnstiles.
That does,
Nobody saw him.
that doesn't sound like
Oh,
That doesn't sound like a 62-year-old limping fat man.
Nope.
Come on.
He's a big guy. Yeah.
I mean, what is he? A freaking gymnast? How was
he's got bionics built into him?
Oh, I get it. He's an Avenger.
Exactly.
Because the man was able to jump out the train and run down, go up some steps, a lot of steps.
Yeah.
Get in the U-Haul truck and drive away. And there was no camera. No camera?
It's just so coincident. No camera.
Zacchaeus, can you help me make sense of this, please? I want more of your take on this.
Go ahead.
Well, to me, it don't even seem real because the way how they describe this man is like he. I thought it was the way how they described him, I thought it was a young guy that did this.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a senior citizen. Now, the thing is that the cameras set up. We got the cameras.
I gotta go
all
off
the
cam.
cameras broken. It's just so kind of strange. All the cameras are broken. I find it kind of strange. This guy must be. I mean, the man look like he can barely move. The man look like he go home and get some rest and get some Bengay. The man look like he can barely. The man look like he can barely move. So I'm looking at the man walking on the road, and I just scratch my head and see this man. They put the handcuffs on this man, and I'm like saying to myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, what are they gonna do with this senior citizen now? And now he's getting locked up and go to jail. I'm like,
yeah,
but there was no, but how he moved that fast? That's what I want to know. It's how he moved that fast.
Yo, they showed the man limping, pants.
The man looked like he just
falling off of
walk
him.
into the store, grab some bear aspirin or something like that, and they put handcuffs on him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nah, he looked crazy, man.
God of mercy, yeah, man.
So I'm gonna say this.
So hard.
So I'm gonna say this, right? I'm not denying that what happened. I just feel like it was I don't think it was a one person job.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he was the getaway driver? Maybe. And the 5'5" guy is probably still out there, and he probably was like, they had to pull an audible. Yo, go that way, because the streets the block is hot now. Streets is watching, so you're gonna have to jet that way, and I'll jet that way. But he doesn't strike me as the actual shooter with his conditioning and with the first thing that they first said happened. How do you go from a 5'5" slim and trim guy to his description? He doesn't fit the description that they originally said. So I happen to think that the killer's probably still out there, like the actual one who did the shooting.
Yeah,
the actual one who did the actual shooting, who actually pulled the gun out and threw the can, and got the bucking. I think that person is still at large, honestly, and I feel like my conspiracy to it is somebody else did it. That's all I'm saying. Do I believe it happened? I mean, people was leaking. I mean, so somebody shot somebody in that train.
Yeah.
Thank God nobody
was everywhere.
Gas was everywhere. I mean, I'm glad nobody was killed. Mm-hmm. Not that I know of. Everybody else survived, right? I didn't hear anything about a death, right?
No, nobody died.
Right. So
not everything that you see is real, you know.
Just hospitalized. So now let's talk about what we think this what this could probably have set up, right? Is it possible that after seeing this, that we're gonna see Stop and Frisk come back in New York?
You know what?
Wow.
Eric Adams hasn't even the Mayor Adams, Eric Adams hasn't talked about it, but I think it's in. I think it might be in the works. Who knows? Maybe it's in the back of his head. It might be in the works because there's been a lot of shootings in New York recently, the Bronx, Brooklyn. So yeah, it might be in the works. You never know because Stop and Frisk. I didn't like Stop and Frisk back. I remember back in 94, 95. Cinema, you remember? Jay,
Every
you
time
remember?
every time I'm going to audio school.
Yeah, Stop and Frisk. Yeah.
I've had a Stop and Frisk.
Crossing
I've had a Stop and Frisk encounter, but thank God
many
it was.
times.
Thank God it didn't escalate. I was calm.
Even coming out of high school.
I
Yeah.
was definitely, you have to be. You got to be calm.
You got to be calm.
Our generation knows how to be calm.
I was calm. I didn't speak many words, but yes, no, yes and no, just minimal.
Yeah, as minimal as possible.
I had a cop.
Yeah.
I had a situation. I won't go into it too deep, but let's just say the other cop that was there was like, all right, man, you go ahead.
See?
And it just got to the point because I went to school around the area every night. The other,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah,
like,
that part of Manhattan. Yeah.
Because NYU's over there. My audio school is over there. It's closed now,
Right.
and so it was. I went to NYU and that audio school there. So
Wow. Yeah.
Well,
but usually when things like this happen, all of a sudden laws that were gotten rid of start appearing again,
right, something new,
or a new version of it.
And remember, people already are testing Eric Adams to see if he's tough on crime because they don't think he is because he's black.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that goes. Every time a black official gets into political office is, well, what does he have to say about crime? Why is that the first thing you go to? Why do you assume that he's soft on crime because he's black? Let me tell you something about black people. We hate crime. No black person loves crime.
Hate it.
We hate
it. Except for the criminals.
Except for the criminals. Most black people, most black civilians, okay, hate crime because of what it does and what it produces in communities that we live in.
Exactly.
So of course we hate it. Yeah, so most black people are conservative about their thinking, their rationale is conservative about crime.
Right.
But we'll always question. See, here's what it is about that. And look, I'm not in the city no more. I ain't vote for the man, right? But the point I'm making is, and I'm not being nobody's cheerleader either. The point I'm making is, no matter who it is, I noticed that the proof is this. Okay, he got that seat. Now we want to see what he do with how he feels about prosecution and how justice should be done. They only want to see how he feels about justice when it refers to a black criminal. But let that be a crime that was committed by somebody else. Oh, they want him to be very light on that. Come on now, I ain't saying nothing wrong.
Right.
Yeah, they want them to take that kid to Burger King.
Hello. He got a Whopper with cheese.
That means extra money.
Exactly. Dylan Roof. I swear, if I saw that man right now, I'd spit dead in his face. Anyway, that's another topic. I'm sorry. Hey, Cinema, why you bring him up? You had me go there.
No.
You know, when they used to just be, actually, but when they want to spit the disrespectful, you hear the
Word. They hawk up some longer from the soul.
Exactly. Straight
Mhm.
up.
That was the spit from the ancestors.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. If they look like Dylan Roof, they don't want you to be
Mhm.
tough on crime. If they look
Mhm.
like the shooter from in Colorado who shot up when they was watching The Dark Knight, they don't want you to be tough when it comes to him. They don't want you to be tough to a Zimmerman.
Exactly.
But they want you to be tough on a who's this man here? His name is Frank James. I mean, whatever. They want you to be tough on Troy Davis.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
They want you to be tough on just pick a black man because you know how it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't mind you
Insert
being
black man here.
exactly. They don't mind you being tough on them when it comes to crime. But God forbid you're tough on little Jimmy Olsen or little Kyle
Or your
Rittenhouse.
or your
Yeah.
movie producers.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Yeah. First name Harvey. But we're gonna wrap it up in a second. Anything else y'all want to say before Zacchaeus, go ahead. You first.
Man. Yeah, Lordy, man. Yeah. I think I'm good over here. I'm good over here. Yeah,
You good
man.
over here?
Yeah.
Set them up.
Mhm.
No justice, no peace.
No
There we go.
justice, no peace.
There we
Yeah.
go. So for those who are listening, I don't want to make light of the people who got harmed in the subway shooting. This is not about the victims. This is about the suspect. This whole situation seems suspect.
Mm-hmm.
That's part 2 of that metaphor.
Sus.
So that's all I'm saying. Hey, if you do the crime, you got to pay the time. But I just felt like this is some coordinated plot.
Yes.
Okay? Because there's a new mayor and you have a quote unquote mass shooting, and we all know that most mass shootings are done by ... fill in the blank.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This time it just happens to be, according to what they're showing us, an unusual suspect in a mass shooting.
Yes.
Just saying. Just saying. All right. So y'all can get at me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the Fifth General. If you're watching the video on YouTube, you can see my name on it on my screen. All right. Zacchaeus, where can they reach you?
And you can meet me on Instagram, Zacchaeus at Zacchaeus Music on Instagram.
Yeah.
Also at at Wayne Backus Gospel on Instagram. Also on Twitter at Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter. Also on Facebook, Wayne Backus 167. Yeah.
Cinema.
Cinemascapes on Instagram and Twitter. God, I don't remember my Facebook thing because I don't even use that page that much. So it'd be there. And then if you're in the gaming, Cinemascapes TTV on Instagram, and that'll take you to where you need to go. And then Cinemascapes on Twitch.
Y'all got TikToks? I don't have it, but if y'all want to give up y'all
I have a
TikToks,
I got it.
same Cinemascapes at TikTok.
Oh,
Okay,
TikTok.
okay.
Yeah, I do have a TikTok.
I
Yeah.
keep. I usually keep it uniform if I can.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
barely, it's Wayne Backus TikTok. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have one.
I didn't
just
know
figured
you
I'd
were on
mention it.
TikTok. I got to give you a follow.
Yeah.
I'm on TikTok. Yeah.
I just figured I watch I let people know that y'all got TikToks, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
On a funnier note, before we go, I know Minnesota's playing Memphis right now. But did anybody see the celebrations when playing where in the play-in, where Minnesota won and beat the Clippers for the play. Did anybody take note of the celebrations from the Minnesota squad and the way they was acting when they won? That was hilarious.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't see. Nah, it's on
You
tonight
know,
right now.
Pat Beverly and the Clippers. You know what
Yeah,
that's about.
I know the story about that. I mean to the
Oh.
point where Patrick Beverly was crying and like as if they won the chip. Let me tell you something, man. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I think, are they're losing this game right now as we speak because we're recording this on Tuesday. But they are making a believer out of me, and it's so funny. I mean, you would have thought these guys won the championship the way they
Everything.
were celebrating. You know?
Wow.
You know, Charles and them got him.
Oh, they did. And your man,
Minnesota Timberwolves, yeah.
your man Patrick Beverly's so funny that he was on NBA Today on ESPN before the playoffs started, and he had on a Versace robe
Wow. Wow.
doing an
He's a
interview.
character.
Doing an interview. Oh man.
Because he said, I've made it. He's made it to the playoffs every year he's been here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the whole thing is there was no LA team and no Knicks in the playoffs.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get the Knicks
Yeah, we
back
know.
there. Got to get New York back there. But yeah.
Yeah, we got
Anyway.
But my Warriors, Steph lit him up last night. It made history. Least amount of minutes, most points. Dude came off the bench and dropped 30-something on him.
Yeah, that man was playing like Jordan last night.
Yeah, but you know he had to get one game under. He hadn't played in 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's getting
First
chippy.
game-
That series is getting chippy with them in Denver. Denver getting chippy with each other on the bench.
Because they're frustrated because everyone has forgotten Golden State's playoff speed. They don't play that fast during the season.
Yeah.
They play that fast only during the playoffs. That's their playoff speed.
Yeah.
See?
LeBron even said it. He says, you cannot emulate that speed. He says, we have to play them one game to remember how fast they are.
Fast they are.
Yeah.
Because they don't play that fast. They don't play that fast during the season, ever.
No.
They like chill out, and then when the playoffs come, that ball's going everywhere.
That game is, yeah.
And that's crazy because what they're calling the death lineup, they only played one game this season together.
Wow.
Nick, that means they've been rolling that lineup in practice.
Well, you know what? I'll say something real quick and then we'll get out of here. All signs and speculation and we'll talk about this when the season's over, when the playoffs are over, that we may get a possible repeat of the Suns and the Bucks. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's highly possible, though.
It's possible.
The Suns are
watch it.
very good, and people don't think they are.
Yeah.
But as the team they're playing now is starting to.
Yeah.
The Suns are built different.
Yeah.
And then
They are.
And then Milwaukee is still strong enough to go to the finals again. So
Milwaukee has experience. I think they were just saying get a good enough seed because they went through the hardest series with Brooklyn last year.
Yeah, they did. They did.
And so they're battle tested. Like the core is battle tested. So, you know, a lot of teams learn, okay, season, but you got to save it for the playoffs.
Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks.
But you see Devin Booker turning it up.
Yeah. Yep. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to Chris Paul, man. All right. We're gonna sign out for real. All right, yo, this is the Fifth General. Zach here, Cinema Escape, signing off. See you on the next episode of Mrs. Z. I'm sorry, of the Round Circle.
Round Circle.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.